Hey there. Ready to really dive deep into some big ideas? Today, we're going deep into a song called The Creator's Throne.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It is, and we'll unpack its take on human ambition and the divine. We're going to look at how it tackles those age-old questions, like why do we crave power? What is the difference between worldly success and true creation? And is it all just a recipe for disaster?
I think this is going to really resonate with a lot of people.
I do too.
It's just packed full of thought-provoking metaphors and just some really profound insights, I think, into the human condition.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, the song kind of throws us this image of a golden crown and a god complex.
Okay.
What do you think the songwriter is going for with that?
I think it's tapping into that deep-seated human desire for power.
Okay.
Especially the kind that elevates you above everyone else.
Right.
It's like reaching for that ultimate throne,
Yeah.
that symbol of supreme authority.
Makes you think of emperors and kings and queens and all that.
Yeah.
It definitely sets the stage for some serious ambition. But is it all it's cracked up to be?
That's the question, right?
Right.
The song is questioning that allure,
Yeah.
asking whether this kind of power is actually real or just a dangerous illusion. And it's fascinating because if you look at it throughout history, you see rulers and empires trying to embody this godlike status.
Oh, yeah.
Think of the Egyptian pharaohs claiming to be descended from the gods,
Oh, totally.
or Roman emperors being declared divine.
Yeah.
Even today, some leaders cultivate a similar aura of power and infallibility.
It's like they almost want to become something bigger than themselves.
And that's where the idea of the God complex comes in.
Oh, yeah.
It's that psychological tendency to believe that you have these extraordinary powers or importance,
Right.
that the rules don't apply to you. And the song seems to be suggesting that this kind of mindset can actually blind us to our true place in the universe.
So it's not just about sitting on the fancy throne, but about the mindset that comes with it.
Precisely.
Okay.
The song digs deeper.
Yeah.
It challenges us to think about what truly matters. And there's this line that really struck me. Wealth and power, their false decree, but true creation ain't their decree.
Ooh.
What do you think the songwriter's getting at here in terms of how they define true creation?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
It feels like they're drawing a distinction between accumulating worldly power and tapping into something deeper, something more essential.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
The song seems to be pointing to the limitations of human agency.
Okay.
We can build empires, amass fortunes, even manipulate the natural world to a certain extent, but ultimately,
Yeah.
we're not the source of creation itself.
Right.
There are forces at play that are far beyond our control.
And that's where the idea of a divine creator comes in, depending on your beliefs.
Yes, and it's interesting because the song specifically names Yah as the creator.
Okay, can you explain that a bit more? What's the significance of that name?
Yeah, so Yah is a shortened form of the Hebrew name for God,
Okay.
and it's often seen as a more intimate way of addressing the divine.
Okay.
But even though it uses this specific name, I think the message resonates across different belief systems.
That's a good point.
Whether you call it God, Allah, the universe, or a universal life force, the core idea is the same. Acknowledging a source of creation that is beyond our limited human understanding.
Yeah, like recognizing that there's something bigger than us out there.
Exactly. And it's about recognizing our place in the grand scheme of things.
Right.
And understanding that true creative power may come from aligning ourselves with something greater than our individual egos.
So the song is encouraging us to see ourselves within this larger context of creation.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
It's about recognizing our place in the grand scheme of things and understanding that true creative power may come from aligning ourselves with something greater than our individual egos.
Okay, so this is where it gets really fascinating. The song then contrasts seeking dominion with ignoring the cosmic flame.
Okay.
What's the danger of ambition here, and what is this cosmic flame all about?
Well, the song seems to be warning us that this relentless pursuit of dominion, the drive to control and dominate, can actually lead us astray.
Okay.
Can make us exploit others, damage the environment, and even lose touch with our own humanity.
It's like becoming so focused on climbing the ladder that we forget why we were climbing in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the cosmic flame is this beautiful metaphor for what we might be missing in that pursuit.
Okay.
It represents the life force, the creative energy, that spiritual essence that connects all things.
So the song suggests that we lose touch with that flame when we become too fixated on power and control.
Exactly.
That's a powerful image, and it raises a lot of questions.
It does.
Where do we go from here? How do we navigate this tension between ambition and our place in the grand scheme of things? That's what we'll explore next.
Yeah, it's like we're trading that vibrant cosmic connection for like a cold and isolating throne.
Yeah.
And the song really makes you think, like, if we're all connected by this flame, doesn't harming others ultimately harm ourselves?
That's a really profound thought, and it connects to so many different spiritual and philosophical traditions that emphasize interconnectedness.
Yeah, and it's fascinating how many cultures have arrived at similar conclusions, right?
Totally.
This idea that we're all part of this greater whole, that our actions have these ripple effects. It shows up again and again and again.
Yeah.
And so when we act in ways that are harmful or exploitative, it disrupts that harmony, that balance,
Right.
and ultimately we end up hurting ourselves as well.
It's like we're all woven into this grand tapestry.
Yeah.
And each thread kind of affects the entire pattern.
Yeah.
So if ambition can lead us astray, what's the alternative? Are we supposed to just like give up and do nothing?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Right.
I don't think the song is advocating for passivity.
Okay.
It's more about finding a balance
Yeah.
between striving for progress and recognizing our place within the bigger picture.
So how do we do that?
Yeah.
How do we find that sweet spot between reaching for our goals and staying connected to that cosmic flame?
Well, it starts with self-awareness,
Okay.
recognizing our own motivation, our tendencies towards ego, and our connection to something greater than ourselves. And it's about asking ourselves those tough questions.
Yeah.
What's driving my actions?
Yeah.
Am I serving the common good, or am I just chasing personal gain?
So maybe it's not about abandoning ambition altogether, but about refining it.
Yeah,
Making it more about contributing to the world rather than just conquering it.
precisely.
Okay.
It's about understanding that true power doesn't come from dominating others, but from harnessing that creative energy. That flows through all of us.
Yeah.
It's about fanning that cosmic flame within ourselves and letting it guide our actions.
So it's almost like the song is urging us to shift our focus from external power to inner strength.
And if we connect that to the bigger picture, it's about recognizing that we're not separate from creation,
Right.
but an integral part of it.
Okay.
When we act in alignment with that understanding, our ambitions become less about ego and more about contributing to the well-being of the whole.
That makes so much sense, but it also raises a big question for me. What about those who already hold immense power? The ones who seem to have lost sight of their place in the grand scheme of things? Like, what can we do about them?
That's a complex issue, and the song doesn't offer any easy solutions.
Right.
But perhaps it serves as a reminder that even those in positions of authority are still human.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
they're susceptible to the same flaws, the same temptations.
Right.
They too can be seduced by the allure of the throne and forget where their true power lies.
So maybe it's not about judging them, but understanding that they're on their own journey, and that maybe they're the ones who need our compassion most.
That might sound idealistic,
Yeah.
but I think that's a powerful starting point.
Okay.
Remember, the song talks about spiritual blindness,
Yeah.
about being lost in the shadows.
Yeah.
Perhaps those who seem most obsessed with power are the ones who are hurting the most, who have lost touch with their own inner light.
So it's like we're all in this together on this grand journey of self-discovery and connection.
Exactly, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Even though the song focuses on the dangers of unchecked ambition, it also offers a glimmer of hope.
Okay.
It reminds us that no matter how far we've strayed, there's always a path back to the source, back to the light.
Wow, what a journey this has been. So after all of this, what do you think? Is ambition always a bad thing? Or can we find that balance between striving for progress and remembering our place within this vast web of creation? It feels like the song is less about giving us a hard and fast answer and more about challenging us to examine our own hearts and motivations.
I think you hit the nail on the head. It's not a simple prescription,
Right.
but a call to self-reflection.
Yeah.
You know, is there a right way to be ambitious?
Yeah.
Maybe that's a question each of us has to wrestle with.
I like it. It definitely doesn't let us off easy.
Yeah.
But if you had to pick one key takeaway, what would it be?
For me, it all comes back to self-awareness.
Okay.
Recognizing our human limitations,
Yeah.
our capacity for ego, but also remembering the source of true creative power. It's about approaching our ambitions with more humility and a sense of purpose that goes beyond just personal gain.
Humility, that's a word we don't hear very often in these conversations about ambition and success.
It's almost countercultural, isn't it?
It is.
But maybe that's the missing ingredient. It's about remembering that we're not the center of the universe,
Yeah.
but a part of something much grander and more awe-inspiring.
Almost like a cosmic reality check.
Yeah.
So if someone finishes listening to this and wants to bring a bit more of that humility and that cosmic flame into their own life, where do they even start?
Oh, there's so many paths.
Yeah.
But they often begin with some simple practices.
Yeah.
Mindfulness, meditation,
Okay.
spending time in nature.
Yeah.
Anything that helps you quiet the ego and allows you to connect with something larger than yourself.
So it's not about throwing out ambition altogether,
Right.
but about finding a wellspring of strength and inspiration that goes beyond our own limited selves.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's about aligning our desires with a purpose that's bigger than just us.
Right.
So our actions become a force for good in the world.
And maybe that's the real legacy, isn't it? Not just what we achieve, but the impact we have on others and the world around us.
That's beautifully put. It's about recognizing that true power lies not in domination,
Okay.
but in empowerment.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty inspired to go out and find a little bit more of that cosmic flame myself.
Yeah. Until next time, keep diving deep.